Welcome, Ms. Sonali, to the ISBF campus. We are so excited to have you here and we are really looking forward to this discussion.
Thank you.
Let's begin with the questions right away. So, as we all know, consulting is a coveted career choice for many students, but I'm not sure if it's fully understood. Could you please shed more light on what working in this sector entails, its various branches and job roles such as management, consulting, strategy consulting, HR consulting, among many others?
Sure. So consulting, it's a very simple term to understand, and I'll start with an example that all of you will relate to. So when you get sick or are unwell, you go to a doctor, right? Why do you go to a doctor? Because obviously you're not feeling well, but you don't have the expertise to diagnose and provide a solution to what your sickness or illness is. So you go to an expert for that advice, which is a diagnosis as well as a treatment, right? That is consulting. So essentially, consulting are people who have an expertise in a particular field, and then they serve clients who have those problems and provide them with a solution and a diagnosis. So now consulting is of different kinds. Let's start with strategy consulting, which is what Bain does. That is basically providing expert advice to our clients on their business strategy, how to grow, where to play, how to win, what are the businesses that you should expand, where are the areas that you should deprioritize and defocus because they are not going to contribute to your growth. That's strategy consulting. The other kinds of consulting which is common is, for example, financial or risk advisory consulting, which is what places like EY and PwC do, which is essentially the big four consulting, right? These are more financial related, tax, audit, all of that kind of expertise. And then there is HR consulting where you have, say, Tars, Watson, Aon Hewitt, all of those, which is really about helping solve HR problems like how do I structure my organization, what should the the hierarchy be, what are the different units that I need to set up, how should key processes like recruiting, performance management, training, how do we deliver on all of those. So that's really about HR consulting. So again, if you ever get confused, consulting is essentially developing expertise in a particular area and providing it to a client which needs that expertise.
Interesting. Please tell us a little about what life is like as a consultant and how does this change as one advances in one's career at a consulting firm. Basically, what does a typical day of a consultant look like?
Okay, so to start off with, consulting is a career which is quite challenging, right? And since all of you will be making decisions about your career, you should know, you should have a balanced perspective of how do you look at different careers. The challenge with consulting is that it's a heavy analytical job to begin with. It requires a lot of mental heavy mental input into it. So that's one part, but the other part is also it requires extensive travel because you have to be based where your client is and those clients keep changing. So the challenge that we often hear from our people and others in consulting is that life isn't sustainable beyond a point. As I said, consulting is all about expertise, and that happens over like a period of time. So consulting is an apprenticeship business, which means that you have to start from base level skills and then build up. So you will not do what a manager does in your first year as an associate consultant. You will keep growing, and that's how consulting is structured. Every 6 months, you are expected to develop a new set of skills. So the first, the early parts of a consulting career are more focused on analytics. What you're really doing is dealing with data and then trying to draw outcomes or, relationships or trying to prove a hypothesis through that data. As you grow more senior, the analytical part is assumed that you are good at that, and then the focus moves on to becoming a manager or like a case team leader, which is really about starting to manage teams and get them to help you crack the client's problem. And the third part of consulting, which is, once you become a principal, which is a 30-year manager, up to partnership, is really about client management. So the focus shifts at various parts of your tenure, starting with problem solving and analytics, moving to team management, and ultimately growing into managing client relationships. Because by the time you're a partner, you should be able to sell projects to a client, which is all based on relationship, and therefore earn revenue for a consulting firm.
That was extremely insightful. I think we have got a clear picture of what a consultant does and how consulting looks like. Now, could you tell me about the different kinds of job opportunities which are available at Bain, particularly for freshers without work experience? Could you also please share some insights on the hiring process at Bain India?
Okay, so we do hire undergrads. At this point, that hiring is limited to 3 schools. So we do IIT Delhi and Mumbai, and we do Stephens from DU. We haven't really gone beyond that. And the primary reason for that is because we also have an IIM pool that comes in, and that number is pretty huge. So, this is really another pool that we are tapping, but the proportion in our pyramid is lower than the IIM hires. What do? They essentially start off as associate consultants, and they learn the various parts of the Bain toolkit, which help them to do the first part I mentioned to all of you, which is analysis, data mining, figuring out trends from the data that they pull. And all of this is let me explain how it fits into the puzzle. So you have a client. The client has a problem. It's the job of the case team. The case team is the client team that works, the Bain team that works for the client. So assume that there is a hypothesis answer, and the AC or the associate consultant essentially will look at data to say, does the data prove the answer or disprove the answer? And while you look at the data, is there some other interesting insight that is coming out from the data that can, help create a new answer or kind of reiterate the answer that we are going with? So that's essentially the job of a fresher. I wouldn't say there is too much of a difference between what an undergrad does and what an MBA candidate does. If you ask me purely in terms of tenure, it's really a 1-year difference, which a lot of times we find that the undergrads pick up faster than the IIM kids.
Could you elaborate on the hiring process?
Yeah, so the hiring process is typically done through what we call campus reps. So we will have, people who have already been part of the institute, which will help us identify the next batch of candidates. We are a day zero company in all firms, so, we get to kind of have a pick of the top performers. Our interview process is focused on a set of case interviews, which are really, problems in a practical sense, which are given to the individual and they are asked to solve them. So there would be maybe 2 to 3 case interviews with different leadership members from Bain, and then they will kind of collate their experiences from the candidate, and then there is like a fit to see, from a cultural perspective and a personality perspective, does the individual fit into Bain?
Okay, great. So here we have a lot of students who look up to Bain as one of the most prestigious companies out there. It's considered to be a premier company that a lot of students would like to work in. With your 11 years of work experience at Bain, what do you think are some must-haves that a successful consultant, and in particular a Bainey must have? And what makes a candidate stand out? What makes you think that, okay, this one would make a great Bainey?
Sure, that's a Great question. So I think, of course, the smarts are important, right? But how you demonstrate smarts can vary across different people. So I think, just having for a consulting career, the smarts that are analytical and that can derive conclusions from vast data sets, or can see patterns from things, or can kind of break down a problem into different parts to solve it. That would be the analytical skills, and in terms of mental sharpness that we look for. In terms of the more broader aspects, we would look for somebody who has a proven track record of being a team player, and that we see from what your extracurricular activities have been. Are they more individual focused? So for example, do you play tennis with someone and do you like win? Which is not something which is really valuable to us, but if you've been part of a debating club, or you've been part of maybe just setting up a small support group for an NGO, or you've done some kind of pro bono work for, let's say, some social cause, those kinds of things which prove to us that you are more than yourself, and that you care more broadly than just your own success, and that you contribute to making sure that others are successful as well. So those would be things that we would look at when we interview people for Bain.
What's the thing that breaks the deal? Like, okay, this one I want. What's that quality?
So I think that we have over time, I think we've developed a sharp nose for people who bluff, and try to kind of, walk through an interview with kind of half truths, and just, kind of posturing instead of actually bringing their true selves to the table. And I think that I would rather work with somebody who is open about who they are, their successes, as well as the areas that they feel are not so great about them, because we all have those, versus someone who postures as the smartest person on earth. I think we can see through that very easily. That would be a deal breaker. And the second thing which actually we unfortunately encountered recently is padding your CV, putting in things which you've not actually done, because the world's really small and you get to know that that's not really the truth. So I think those two would be complete, deal breakers for us.
Okay, I'm sure now our students know which skills they need to work upon. So, as ISB, students have studied under the academic direction of the London School of Economics, which is one of the world's leading educational institutions. How does Bain India view recruitment from a younger college like ours in comparison to, say, DU, which is a much older institution?
So frankly, it isn't really about old and new, as I said, and I think it goes more to awareness of such programs and institutions being around. As I told you, we hire only from one college, from DU at the moment, so it's not really about DU or non-DU, but I think it's more about seeing the results and seeing how a set of students perform. I think a couple of things that we would keep in mind, before we onboard a new school, is what is the eligibility criteria for the program for the students to, get to qualify to enter the program. How is the evaluation done for the various exams and subjects, and then ultimately their ability to crack the Bain recruiting process. So I won't really say that we have a mindset against an institution which is new, but I think for any new institution it takes some time to build that credibility, and once that's there, I think it can work out well.
Okay, great. Being an interdisciplinary college with various courses like economics, finance, management, and data science, our students are also able to acquire the quintessential software skills like R, Python, Tableau, among many others. Are these useful in consulting, and are these valued at Bain?
That's again a really interesting question, and I think the way to look at that is that consulting is evolving. You know, the traditional strategy consulting, which is predominantly what the big three, which is Bain, McKinsey, and BCG, do, is slowly but surely shifting, right? So while all the skill sets that you mentioned and all the new tech and digital skills that you mentioned, they may currently not be valuable for mainstream consulting. We ourselves are putting a lot of focus in building groups which have these qualifications, and for example, advanced analytics, adapt, other digital programs that support consulting. So yes, definitely, I see this as a key area which will be of supreme importance, may also be the way to kind of distinguish your offerings from other competitors. But yeah, I do see a very promising path ahead for these skills.
So there's indeed great growth in these.
Yeah, right.
Right. So could you give me some insight into the training that fresh recruits go through in the initial weeks and months at Bain?
Sure. Our induction program is focused, just as our recruiting, on helping to build the skill sets required to do the job well, which is all the tools for analytical ability, which is what we call a Bain toolkit. So there is a program for our consultants to come in and actually teach those to our new hires, and then there's time spent on kind of familiarizing them with the ecosystem and how it can help them. So how key processes like staffing, performance development, professional development, evaluations, promotions, how does that happen? And then there is also part of the induction which is spent explaining to them what the Bain culture is, how they can contribute to it, and what are our expectations of them as they come in as new Bainies.
Okay, great. That was extremely insightful. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on Bain and consulting as a career choice.